Yeah,
Okay.
Mel, and just recap what you have been talking about.
Yes, I'll let Raven go first and then I'll do that.
Okay. Yeah, I was just talking about like these 9 skills of being an entrepreneur and being a successful entrepreneur, where one of the main ones was tracking, and like the systems that you have to track how long you're working, how much profit you're making. And I use that word profit because we are, that is our goal, is
Yeah.
to have a profit. Because people can say I'm doing it for the money, but it has nothing to do with the money for several reasons. But within that time tracking, and that is kind of a facade as well, because you guys all know we all have the same amount of time in every single day.
Yeah.
So there are 4 quadrants that we sit in, whether it's all day, throughout the day, and there is one quadrant within those 4 that we need to stay in to be successful. And so the quadrants are made up of the urgent, like the most important and the most like bills, like stuff that you absolutely need to survive. You need your rent paid, you need your bills paid, you know, like anything else, like you're out of toilet paper, you need toilet paper. You know, like you keep your mind or your like attention towards those things. Within the webinar that I watched, every single person except maybe 5 that I saw scrolling through once they all started coming in, were, every single one was in quadrant 1, urgent. Quadrant 2 is like less like it's still in the urgent row, but it also it's like planning, and only 1 person was in that quadrant. The next quadrant was like stuff that I need to revisit it, but the next quadrants were like we're online, we think we're working, and we're doing what we need to do, and like it's the chaos kind of row of these 4 quadrants. And then the other one is the squirrel hole, just in a nutshell. So before he was explaining it, he was asking, you know, everybody, where do you sit? Like urgent, everybody, urgent. And so this is kind of like a picture of when we say that we work good in chaos, it's like, no, we're chaotic in chaos. And because those 2 upper levels, okay, the one that is absolutely urgent, yes, it is urgent, but don't spend all of your time in that space. The next one, like the next one is the planning. That is where we make a schedule and we prioritize, and we you know, like we have organization, but it is still chaotic, you know, it as a whole. Like life can be overwhelming and under like appreciated, you know. That's just how, you know, we've become as a society. Like you have to always be in a hurry to get somewhere and get there really, really fast, whether it's to become a millionaire or to be like the boss of, you know, like everything is super like accelerated to the point where we think it's okay to be in chaos. And so these 2 bottom quadrants soak up all of our time, and it is insane that we're like that, you know. And so like to reprogram and actually,
and that's why people they don't stick with it.
Yes.
they move on to the next thing. They don't stay with it. They don't think about the 4-year career,
You know,
because it's not happening.
everything is
quick
very
enough.
self-righteous, like like instant gratification, like you know, like when for instance, like when you're in the scroll hole, when you're scrolling, what is making you feel fantastic? A like to one of your posts, comments, somebody acknowledging your worth, you know, a compliment, or, you know, like something that makes you feel good that you want to share, you know, like our minds are,
it's like that need, right? Like that need to be acknowledged or important, or we just have a need that needs to be filled, but we go about it the wrong way.
It's so distorted. It totally is.
Yeah.
I don't even know when I sign up for all of these things, but they just keep popping up, and I'm watching them because I'm like, thank you, past Raven, for being in that scroll hole that one day, because this is actually amazing. You know, like, obviously there are times that you can block for that purpose. Also, I have been thinking lots about, because I've started a group on Facebook, and just like in my head, I know all of the things that I need to do. And so all of us, and this is another thing that I learned from the webinar, when you can list and track the things that are going to make your business successful. What are the things? What is it? Like sales, or is it like customers? You know, like for us, it's doing classes, right? And it's getting those bundles in front of the people that we encounter, you know? So what does it take to have that? What do we need to be able to do that? Well, I'm thinking I need my flip kits. I need flip kits if I'm going to be doing classes, and I'm going to have them around. I'm going to be doing classes every day of the week, or, you know, strive to do however many classes. You need to have a space where you're going to be doing those classes. You know, like this is something like that we don't, like, I live, and I'm still kind of like trying to get out of that comfort zone of being like winging it, just flying by the seat of my pants, thinking it's okay. And I'm like, no wonder I'm not successful. You know, like, no wonder I'm just like, I got all these great ideas, you know, and it is insane. Like the when you finally get to sit with yourself and like say, hey, you know, let's be honest with each other, me to me. We're not doing the best that we can, and we can, and it doesn't have to be the best that we think is our best. This is where we're at right now. This is the best, so let's make that working for us, you know. And then when we see ourselves up here, we're going to look back and be like, man, it just keeps getting better, because we came to terms with where we were at.
And I think too, like how you said, like that guy says you have to be able to track it, right? Like, what do you do? And if you have no baseline, if you have no idea what your numbers are or how many classes you've done or anything like that, like how do you know you're doing any better or worse? So you could be totally like delusional and be like, I haven't been doing anything. But meanwhile, you just had like 14 classes that month. Yeah. I think that's like, you know, back to this little amazing magical book, because they have that in, right? They can have that spot to track your week in review.
Yeah.
So that is like, you know, so amazing to track. And I even just going back and being like, oh my God, my OGV was that? Like, holy crap, that's like so cool. And it's inspiring. Like this was, when was this? I just flipped to it was the 23rd of August. 23rd, and like the beginning of the week my OGV was like 7,900. At the end of the week it was like 9,400. Like what? You know, like, are you kidding me? I would never. And then I can look back at that and be like, oh my gosh. And then it's like you said, what did I do? What did I do in that week that worked? And it has those questions for you. What worked? What didn't work? Right? So it's all right there, because I feel like when we're doing really well, it's exciting, and we're like, I'm doing all the classes, I'm doing everything. And then we think that we're still doing good. And then all of a sudden we're like, why am I like in such a rut?
What
like
happened?
What happened? And then if we would have tracked it, we would have seen that we thought we were still doing the classes. We thought we were still connecting because we were still on the high from like a month ago.
Yes.
And then it's like, oh my gosh, I haven't been doing the things. And, I just am totally excited. And like, like how I showed you guys before, like I'm tracking every single day my OGV of my main legs every single day, my overall OGV, because I'm like, where else do you see that? Like we can go back in our history and see it by month, but that's the end of the month. We can't go and see by day and be like, oh, like my team really needs some support right around the second week because we have no OGV growth in that week or whatever, right? Like so much insight of where we need to go and what we need to do, we track. Yeah. What? Like, why didn't we know this?
It's crazy. And even just like putting in your schedule that is what you're doing. I'm going to track.
Right?
Like, because even like with me, like I it's almost like I think that my agenda is got COVID, like I don't want to touch it. I don't want to write in it. I'm afraid to write anything in it. And it freaks me out because I'm like, why am I so darn afraid to write anything in it consistently?
Yes, totally consistently. Yeah.
Oh, Aiden says hi.
Hello, Aiden.
I have an idea, Mel. You know how we're journaling every day?
Yep.
Why don't we incorporate tracking into that?
Yes, we should. We should do tracking, absolutely.
I don't know if Claudette and Raven are interested, but we started a law of attraction accountability messenger where we are just doing our journaling. And what's that?
What time do you guys do it, or is it like how does it work?
Well, we just we write in there. We write in there every day that we've journaled and we've meditated and we've done affirmations. Like even if you just do one of them, we just we comment in there, just kind of like we're doing the social media growth, kind of like that. And then it holds you accountable. And then you see other people commenting in there that they've done it. So you're like, oh, well, I better do that. So it just keeps you on track, right?
You know what I think would be kind of neat? Like, I don't know, this is just a thought about, instead of doing it in a Facebook chat, what if we just started a Facebook, like it could be like an open event or whatever. Like an open event with no ending time. And that way people can go in when they want to, and then they're not, like their phone notifications aren't like dinging every time somebody's having a conversation. Maybe. And then this way as well, we can we can have it strictly for tracking, and we can be like, we can invite people who aren't wanting to do like the meditation or the gratitude journal or anything like that. And we can have it strictly for tracking, and then we can give people like tips, or and then if we're checking in, because with the Facebook chat group, you're not likely to go back and read like the 20, you know, the first message of 20 that was the to-do thing or whatever, you know,
Yes.
like for the day. Like it could just be there, we could pin something at the top or whatever, like it could be, and then we can continually invite people to that want to join.
Okay.
I don't know, what do you
I
guys think?
actually like that idea.
Yeah.
Have an ongoing event, because there's categories too, you know, and like I don't know. I just started that group thing, and there's a lot of things that you can do in it that I have no clue what I'm doing, but I know that it's possible. So that's why I'm doing it, because
Yes.
I don't need to know everything to do something amazing.
Yeah.
I know this is going to work for me. And
You just need the push, like the little
and so
reminder.
like an ongoing event, you can have it recent. Sorry, Raylan, but I'm speaking right now. Do you mind waiting a minute? Thank you. But if you you can set it on either the most recent post or the one that has had the most, right, the
most relevant or
the
whatever.
most attention, not just like, oh, I posted this 2 days ago, so I'll find it way down here, or I posted this yesterday and it should be right there. Like it's I like that idea, an ongoing event group, and it doesn't have to be forever.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, even if we did it like 1 month at a time, if we're like, or even like we can start right now, the 16th to the 30th, like September, the end of the month, so that it's not so intimidating and people are like, oh God, I got to keep up with this group every day for the rest of my life. So we can, and then we can just start it again the next, like in October, and do the whole month and just be like, okay, guys, check in. And it would be kind of cool, I think, if we created, like, I don't know if we can do this in a Facebook event. We might have to, like, maybe we can have a Google Doc or something with the people's names that join.
Oh, and kind of like what
Helen
Martin did.
Yes. And so everybody gets to see, because that's motivating when you see somebody's actually doing it and you're like, oh crap, I better do the things. Yes, like if we can do that.
Yes. And have a prize at the end.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be huge, right? Like, hey, here's a Raven oil because we can't breathe, or an RC oil, whatever.
Yeah, totally. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll put our thinking caps on and get something going today.
Yeah. And then we can have like tracking your classes, tracking, you know, we can have all sorts of categories, right? Tracking your classes, tracking your hours that you spend working, tracking your OGV every day, because those are the important things that we need to keep track of them, right?
Yeah. And it will make a huge difference, because even with the journaling, and even with, like, I'm doing an accountability group with eating.
Yeah.
And I have been more aware of what I'm eating because I have to post it, a picture of it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, well, I can't show them that I had McDonald's. So Chase, do you mind? I'm trying to, you guys are being quite loud. So yeah, so it does make a difference. And I've been able to stick with it.
Yes. Yeah. So. Exactly. Yes. So I'm excited. Okay, we have 10 more minutes of our meeting just to be respectful of everybody's time.
Wow, I'm impressed.
I know, right? It's good.
Yay.
So I will just do a little
Broccoli,
quick
please.
recap of like what we talked about before I pushed the recording button. And that was like the tracking, what we're talking about. I guess it just kind of fits in good with that, and the importance of tracking, because I was listening to The Compound Effect. So that's like a book everybody needs to listen to or read. Absolutely. And he talks about tracking. If you want to know, like if you want to lose weight, you have to track every single thing you eat, just like Dora said. And you have to be honest. This is not to make you look good or to make you look bad or anything. It is just an honest snapshot of who you are and the steps you're taking, so that you can look back, adjust them the way you need to, so that you can get to where you're wanting to go. You know, he was talking about tracking your money. If you want to know where your money is and where it's going, you need to track it. Because I don't know about you guys, because I could be like, oh my gosh, I just got my paycheck and now I'm broke and I have no idea what I just spent it on. But of course, your bank statement tells you that, but who the heck looks at that anymore? Not me, because I don't want to know, because I'm like, oh geez, it's not what I wanted to spend it on. And so what I found for myself, like the big aha moment that I had, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to track the hours that I spend on my business every day, because this is new for me. I've had a boss my whole life. I had somebody to say, you work from 9 to 3, and this is what you need to do in those hours. And that was it. And now that I am working from home and I don't have to do that anymore, I'm like feeling like I work from the moment I wake up until the moment I go to sleep. And I was like, okay, so forewarn you, he does tell you that when you track for the first time, you are going to be shocked, because we like to think that we're doing more than we actually are, and then not knowing why we're not getting the results that we want. So today was, I know it's Wednesday, but it's like my first real day working at home because of life. But I tracked my hours, and like how Raven said about writing, like I actually, this is my like my agenda, my to-do book or whatever, besides my IPA one. You can't really see it very well, but I actually wrote tracking on there. Like I had to track. So I wrote down exactly when I started to work, because I always have my cell phone with me when I'm working, right? Like who doesn't have their cell phone or a computer? The time's right there. And when I mean by working, it is like focused. It is like it's an IPA. It's not the scroll hole. It's not thinking that you're looking for things. It is like doing your to-do list, because you should write your to-do list the night before so you know what you're doing the next day. Makes life easier. So it's actually doing the things that are income producing activities. So, and it was really kind of cool, because when I knew I was tracking my time, I stayed focused. I'm like, okay, no, I can't, like, I don't want to break this up like in time. So I didn't even start actually working until 10:15 this morning. I'm like, that's embarrassing. How many times did I pick up my phone from the time I woke up at 6:30 to 10:15? Probably 100 times. Did I feel like I was working? I'm like, oh yeah, look, I'm just gonna go check my messages. I'm just gonna go check the notifications. I'm just gonna, right? That is not working. That is not working. Feels like you're working because you're like, well, maybe I could connect with somebody. Yeah, no, that's a joke. So I didn't even start work till 10:15, and then I worked until 10:53. I'm homeschooling, doing EOP with one of my sons, so he needed some help. So that's when I stopped. So I don't know, all you mathematicians out there, that's like 43 minutes. Is that what that is? 43 minutes. And then once I got done helping my son, it was already 11:40, a whole hour later. And I only worked until 11:58, which is crazy, because that is only 18 minutes. Because why? Lunch? You have to make a lunch. Then it's lunchtime, right? And then I went back to work at 12:45 and I only worked, I didn't write down until I worked. See, like, how bad is that? But I can tell you, because I remember doing the things, I know that I only worked from 12:45 and it was only until about 1 o'clock. So that's 15 minutes. Okay. Not including this time. Do the math. 10, 11, 16, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So I felt like I really put in a whole day's work, blah, blah, blah. I actually only worked 76 minutes of this day. 76 minutes. How the heck am I supposed to have a successful business and get to where I need to be in 76 minutes? So tracking is so incredibly important because it makes us really, like, it's honest, and we need to be honest. To succeed, we have to be honest with ourselves. We cannot pretend. You cannot pretend your way through business. No way.
And it totally makes sense, Mel, because we're rushing around trying to catch up.
Yeah.
If we would actually work for an hour straight, you know, and then take a break and then to work another hour straight, then we would accomplish actually so much more, and then we wouldn't be so hectic.
Yeah.
Things wouldn't feel hectic.
Yes. And you're always like, you know, what is it that I'm supposed to be working on? Like, oh my gosh, what should I do? Okay, this is
That's
like
exactly.
This is my to-do list that I had created this morning. And, you know, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people that I was connecting with and doing follow-ups, my new members that ordered kits last, you know, I'm like, okay, I need to check in with them. There's some people that I wanted to send messages out personally, just connecting, right, for this sort of a thing. I probably actually accomplished more in that 76 minutes than my other days of working. You know what I mean? Like I would not have gotten that all done today if I hadn't have had that focus time carved out and a list.
And that's, you know, like the power hour that we've started to do.
Yes.
That's from Eric Worre.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I think if we did more power hours, like 3 times a week. So now I'm doing Monday and Friday.
Okay.
Maybe if we threw one in there on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
That would be amazing for me because I know myself and I'm like I made an appointment on purpose tomorrow morning because I'm like, I need to stop pretending that I'm being efficient.
Hey, and you know what? Okay, but you know what? Look at how much we have accomplished, and you have accomplished, even doing all the things that, you know, that
all the things that I am doing.
right, all the things that you're doing, and what you have accomplished. Imagine what's going to happen when you're actually blocking the time, and how much easier it'll be, and how much. Yeah, we need to track it for the next year, just so we can show our team.
How? Yes.
Okay, starting today. Today we're tracking.
Yes, we are tracking.
I'm
okay.
excited.
Friday at 9:30. Are we still doing it at 9:30s?
Yes. Can we do it? Can we do it at? Can we do it a little bit earlier? Just, I have an appointment at. It's
every Friday you have an appointment.
No, just this Friday.
Oh, well then you can just hop on when you need to.
Okay.
Because so it's not just you, us. It's just not just us three.
Yes, right.
Consistency is gonna keep it going,
okay,
right?
So 9:30, I can hop on for half an hour.
Okay, power hour 9:30. Okay.
Power hour.
Okay,
yeah.
and then
Mondays at 10. I do have it in Time Tree. Like it's just our regular Monday morning business call.
Okay.
We're just talking a bit about the business and then getting into the power hour.
Okay.
Yeah. So Monday at 10, power hour.
So do we want to just do like Wednesday at 10 too?
Let's see here.
Yep.
Yeah, that would work for me.
Okay.
Me too.
Do we want to change Fridays to 10? So then it's just 10 o'clock all
10
the way
o'clock
through?
across the board.
Yeah, sounds good.
I think so too.
Look at
Okay.
us getting all scheduled in life.
Woohoo!
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
and I don't know how you have been, Dora, but I know how me and Raven work, and we are like some of the most fly by your pants. Like, the universe has our back. Don't ask me to make plans tomorrow because I don't know where I'm going to be. I'm going to wake up and I might want to go to like Nova Scotia, and I'm going to go. And then like and
Oh my
so
god.
it
I'm
is
a lot like that.
It's-
Too. Yes.
yes, and it's so like it's been a journey. I mean, definitely it has taken us work, and it's taken us time and support and learning and personal development, all of those things to get where we're at. Because if you would have asked me 2 years ago to do this, I'd be like, I'm out, man, you're freaking me out. Like, that is way too much commitment.
Yes.
So for
Totally.
anybody that's listening to this on our replay, don't feel like you're obligated to do every single one of these power hours or anything like that. You do what you can. You start where you are at. Definitely, like, we've been doing the business for 2 years. What is this, Dora? Your 5th year?
Well, doing it full time, 3.
3.
Yeah.
So we're kind of all at the same sort of, playing field. And so,
1.5.
yeah,
Getting
right?
there.
Yes, I know. It's so cool. And so, like, these are just places that we're at. We definitely were not these people when we started, not at all. And do not ever feel like you have to be us or that you have to keep up with us. We just put all of this stuff out there so that you guys have some opportunities.
I was gonna say, heck, we're having a hard time trying to keep up with ourselves. But that's why we have these group chats, meetings, and like keeping connected with everybody, because we have a community that, like, it's just awesome. I just love having people that I can bounce ideas off of and be accountable with, and having a running buddy, a champion, as Richard calls it.
Yep.
Like, it is amazing to have a community that believes and is all on the same directional path.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's really cool too, because we can get too much ideas, we can get too much things going on, we can feel like we need to recreate the wheel. And so that's why we have people above us like Dora and Lisa and Jolene. They could be like, hey, bring it down. All you got to do is invite 2 people. We're like, what do you mean only invite 2 people? We're like ready to have a party. Parties are good. But yes, don't feel like, you have to be on your own and thinking of the things that you have to come up with to make your business. You don't. Duplication. And so definitely these communities help us to stay focused. They help us to stay realistic. They help us when we feel like we are lost and don't know what we're doing. We're overwhelmed. That's what we're here for. And I love it. I just love it. It is so good. So good.
It is exactly 6 o'clock.
It is. There we go. I know.
Look at us keeping on time.
I know. We're getting the hang of this.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. So good.
You guys are amazing.
Yes, you are amazing. So good. Okay. I'm going to stop recording.